We are again.
Yeah, well, it's good to be back. So here we are, coming to share some of our stories with you again this week of what we've been up to. So I've had quite an interesting week. How's yours been?
Yeah. I've always having experiences, and new lady this week.
Yeah.
I think I can't say too much about because obviously I've not asked her permission. But just knowing that all the different things that keep coming up.
Yeah.
So what are you going to explain about your past life one first, Trace?
Yeah, I did a healing session for a lady. I think it was a week or a couple of weeks ago. And in that one, we was coming up to the last one in my program that I have. And we didn't think it was going to be really much of a big session. We thought we would just do a little bit of timeline stuff and maybe do some cards and stuff like that. We didn't think we had much left to do. But we were talking about something. She was sharing some stuff with me. So we decided to do this like past life session. So we went into this past life, but as we were sort of connecting, I was sitting here on here doing this, and all of a sudden a figure ran past in front of me. I was like, oh, that's not who normally comes in. So I just said to her, someone's come in the room, I could see them. And then everything started changing in the room. It sort of all started fragmenting from the outside. It sort of looked a bit like I was looking through a kaleidoscope. I could see this different stuff happening and shifting within the room, and it was a bit weird. And I'm saying to her at the time, I can't really see. I can't see what's going on. She said by my face that she could see something was happening. So I said, whatever that is, like they're getting ready to do some sort of shift here. Anyway, we went in and we did the past life. We took her back, and in this past life, she went back to a time when she was about 28 in this lifetime, and she was pregnant. She was about 5-6 months pregnant, and she had cancer, and she knew, she could feel that she had breast cancer, and she was sort of in this room, and there was nothing they could do about it. She said it back before the time they knew what to do with cancer, and of course they didn't know back then how to deal with a baby. I mean, this day and age they probably would remove the baby and try and save it and all of that. And she felt in this lifetime that we went into that that's what happened to her. And so I think that the shift in reality that came in for me was also we shifted not only the past life but a timeline. So it sort of did the whole thing simultaneously. I think that's why I could see all that different energy and stuff shifting. And she really felt it. She felt quite emotional as well. She felt everything so she knew that that's what she had, breast cancer and everything in that one. And she felt like completely it had been shifted, it had moved, and it all seemed to happen simultaneously. So it's a bit of a surprise to both of us that actually happened.
And maybe, Trace, that was why it happened, because it was the last one.
Yeah.
And maybe that was you getting to grips with the timeline and past life, bringing it to one thing.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. And even like on my social media, I posted that I was going to have my eyes tested. It actually freaked me out to that degree. I actually went and got my eyes checked to see if I'd had some vision impairment or something. I mean, it went after about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, but it was really weird. Really.
When you get that stuff, it is really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've only seen something similar when I used to do meditation in the room here. And I had two people that was, I suppose, a bit negative. They used to talk about the news.
Oh,
never really want to listen about the news, let alone in here when we're going to be doing what we're doing. So this night I got up to change the music, and Archangel Raphael was standing over there, and he showed me the energy, and he was telling me off, and obviously rightfully so, because I wasn't keeping a check on them.
Yeah.
So the energy was that really lime green of Archangel Raphael, and he showed me it was all like it had been chopped So more or less, this is what it looks like. Get back there and do something about it. So the discussion we had then from that minute on was, you know, the energy changes if you talk about that stuff. And so we went into all this, and you know, we laugh a lot, and it's the laughter that raises the energy. So we talked about all that, and I think people thought even laughing's a bit disrespectful, but it isn't. Maybe I'm saying this because somebody on here is going to hear this and think it's disrespectful, but actually it raises the vibration. But the message that night from the angels really was, you know, you're in here to do this for yourself, and it's not all about you, because the energy that we use in here goes out further, because that's where we're sending it.
Yeah.
But little did they know, and me, I used to see a guy for acupuncture in them days, and it was I had to go to him the next day, and he said, when I got in the room, he said, so you was working last night then, June? So I went, how do you know that? Because I don't know how far. Slapton is where he lives, and I live in Thurston. And he's, even as the crow flies, it's miles, really miles away. So I said, how do you know that then? He said, well, I went out to put the bins out last night, and I just stood there looking towards where you live. He said, and all the light was on over Thurston. And I went, oh. So he gave me the answer to what Archangel Raphael had started telling me, that I had to clear the energy now, what they was all talking about. He obviously gave me the words saying that the energy goes out from this room.
Yeah, lighting the sky up.
Yeah, and the acupuncturist in Slapton saw it.
Saw it from there.
He was the answer that the next week I could come back in here and say, actually, you think you're sitting in here just doing nothing.
Yeah.
That guy saw the light go on over Thurston.
Yeah.
So quite interesting, isn't
It's
it?
amazing, isn't it? Yeah. I do like to laugh with my group. I think it's important to have a bit of fun doing your meditations and your group stuff.
Well, it isn't miserable, is it? It's supposed to be light-hearted. You're all getting something. It's supposed to be filling your heart up, filling you up with joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, blooming miserable talking about the news on the telly.
Yeah. No.
But it was so interesting how that happened.
Yeah.
So that with you, with the energy you see, I've not seen that, not like you see it, but I saw, and I don't always see the energy. It was really shown to me that night. And it was so green. It was that luminous green that it comes on. But he showed me it was all sliced, like somebody cut the knife through it.
It's just amazing, isn't it? Like for people listening, if you're quite like negative or go around negative people, you know, like you can feel it, the energy in the room, can't you? When you can go in somewhere and someone's had a row or something's not right, you just feel it, don't you?
Yeah, you do really feel it. And just because you can't see it, and if you go by your feelings, which is what we do really, isn't it? It's sensitivity. You know that something's off or something's wrong. You don't really have to be shown those colours. Obviously, that night I did, because it carried on into the group and explaining to them, you know, just because there is that terrible thing happening wherever that is, you don't have to go there to help them. You can do it by sitting in here and sending out the love.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating, isn't it, how it works?
Yeah, it's interesting to see the colour though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely that green. And he was standing over there by the music centre as I got up to change the music, because I was fed up with the conversation. That's what it was. I don't talk about what's on the blooming news.
No, people should have a bit more respect than bring that into the groups anyway.
And I think in them days, because they're friends, they all know each other, and it's just a bit of chit chat. And that's what you think, but actually it isn't chit chat. It's bringing the energy down, because this is where the work's done. So probably somebody on here, Tracy, is going to hear that and realise that, oh, maybe I talk about that too much.
Yeah.
And it's bringing the energy down, because it's a knock-on effect.
It is, yeah.
Even, you know, even if you're not in the world working like we are, that transfers somebody else to you, into the house.
Mm.
And maybe that's what we're talking about this today, because about clearing it.
Yeah.
What we use to clear
funny
it.
energies, isn't there, lately as well? Everyone's felt the energy at the minute.
Oh my goodness. Who said about the solar flares?
Yeah,
Did you
solar flares been going on, yeah. I think there are as well. Well, it's the 4th today, so again, it's quite a prominent day, isn't it? And then on the 8th, I think it's another one with lots of solar flares and predictions that go around about that.
Pam Gregory or somebody has been saying where there wasn't, there'd only be a few, but now there's so many in one day. I don't know you, but the other day, Laurie was here and I could not think. It's hard for me not to think straight, but it was a day where I couldn't even read words. I was trying to type something up for a workshop. I couldn't read the words to even do it. So in the end, all 3 of us gave in.
Just let it go, yeah.
Put the telly on.
Yeah.
Put the telly in the afternoon. We don't never do that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were having to like rest because it's just affected their energy system, isn't it?
Oh, it was so
I go and sit in the sun. I sit on a bench and let the sun, because there's a lot of energy comes through the sun. It's like an energy portal, isn't it? And that's the thing that sort of seems to settle my energy down. Not blazing sun. I mean, it's not this time of year, but the early morning sun just let.
Oh, I love that.
And it calms my whole energy down. And I know just whatever's going on. But I have to do that whenever the sun's out. I'm like, let's go and sit on the bench and just get some rays and really just.
I do agree, House. Maybe people on here need to hear that, Trace.
Yeah. Yeah, well, everyone does a thing about the moon, don't they? Oh, let's go and get the moon energy. Let's move. Not well, obviously it is a thing, but people don't seem to think that the sun, as well, has a really big impact on their energy field and their aura, for clearing stuff and re-energizing.
How happy you feel.
Yeah.
When the sun hits your face, you feel totally different, don't
you? Mm.
So it's got to be doing, just lightening up the energy.
Yeah. I can actually feel it do it, and you've got to not have glasses on or anything, and just let rays go onto your face, so it goes right back through the eye into the pineal gland, so it can activate lots of stuff and clearing. So it's really important to do that as well. And I know people don't like going out in the wind, and we're not keen on the rain myself, but when it's windy, I mean, that clears your aura as well. I just visualise it clearing my energy field as I'm walking along with the wind.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mind you, we do get a bit too much here, but there you go.
Yeah, I do get it windy as where I am as well, to be fair.
You can pack that larking. We need a bit more sunshine.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did that one, and then I did another lady. Well, we was talking about this earlier, so I did another ladies clearing healing session. This one went a bit different as well, because during that one, I felt like it was different. I felt something different. I could smell the smell, and we'd had the conversation about the smell. It smells like medical. And anyway, I put her out, and she was like in a meditation, and she felt someone move her arm out the way, and she doesn't normally have that sort of stuff going on. And then for some reason, I was looking down into her body, and I'm looking into even at the time I was doing it, I was thinking it was a bit weird, but I could see right into like a lower stomach area, and I'm having a look round, and I'm thinking to myself, this is a bit weird, and having a look to see what's there. It looked all fine to me anyway, but that's probably why they moved the arm. And I did say to her, and plus she was well conked out as well, I couldn't really get her back from a meditation, and in my mind I'm thinking, this feels like I've got like a psychic surgeon, someone's come in, and I don't actually have one of them, Well, I did tell the lady in question, so she was waiting for us to confirm it, and we had the chat. So it looks like I borrowed one of yours to go in to do whatever
Wasn't
we
it,
need to do. Yeah.
Dr. John, not
Dr.
Dr. B.
John. Yeah, I don't think we've spoken about him. So what does he do?
So Dr. John was the way he showed himself to me was really, I suppose, 1800s when they wore the top hat.
Oh, old-fashioned style doctor.
Yeah, Marlene's hospital he worked in. He told me he was a surgeon. I mean, I don't know what sort of surgeons in them days, but he carried a bag, like the old doctor's bag. And
Yeah.
I saw him in his black suit with his black top hat on. And he told me, well, obviously told me his name was Dr. John, but I didn't think he was around because Dr. B's been here so much.
Okay.
So we asked, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I think it was Dr. John you got.
Yeah. Yeah. We had to come because we confer, don't we? Sometimes when
Yeah.
we do like big sessions or something unusual for us anyway, we confer with each other to check
Yeah.
that we're right, don't we? So
Yeah.
I didn't want to confirm that that's what happened till we had spoken. But yeah, it was different. So I don't know, maybe because we've been like doing stuff together and working together that we've just started getting each other's stuff now that's going on.
We've passed him round now. But
But
maybe
yeah,
that's
smell.
maybe because I don't get that smell with Dr. B.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't remember the last time I worked with Dr. John, but that might be the reason why, because you can smell the smell that it is in. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely wasn't a normal healing, clearing thing for
No.
me. I don't tend to look into people's bodies.
Yeah,
That's your thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got some corkers. I've got my best friend. She's been coming for 15 years no, 15 years since I've lived here. And loads of healings. No, and it's never happened before. Other stuff's happened, but this time, and funny enough, when I work, I normally go one way. I leave the head and go down on the right. And I was being pushed to the left, and I thought, no, I don't go that way. I go that way. So me being silly, doing the wrong, should have gone with what they were showing me. Anyway, I went that way. And I don't think she was under quite enough because, and there he is. I mean, look, I feel like I've got my glasses on. I'm looking in. I thought, I've never seen this in her before. It was a bullet.
Oh yeah, the bullet one. Yeah.
Well, they said to me it's shrapnel.
Yeah.
But I expected. But to me, it looked like a bullet. It wasn't. I didn't see the top of it. It was sort of sheared and jagged. And
so it was a past life, was it? Was it a past life?
Well, I don't know how to explain this really, Trace. It was what happened was, and her granddad always comes this in spirit, and for the 15 years I've known her, her granddad always comes at every session. So obviously when we'd finished, she sat on the settee, we started talking about it. I explained what I saw, and I started asking the questions. So where has this come from? So I got America, and then straight away my head goes, Westerns. Was it with the Indian? No, not that. So okay. So as we was talking more, because Jack, I can't say her name, she's very psychic and because obviously she comes to everything we do and so she's on that path anyway. So she obviously picked up on the granddad thing, and she said, I wonder if this is what it is. Nan and granddad had just got married when this was in the war, and I'm not sure if her mum had been born. I can't remember, or if they were pregnant with a mum or whatever it was. Anyway, his best friend in that, when he was in the army, was American, and they was being fired at, and he threw himself over the granddad, and he took the bullet.
Right.
So I don't know if would you call that a past life thing, because that bullet, we gather that was the bullet from. So whether she was that,
That's like a past life and timeline thing,
yeah,
really, isn't it? Together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So whether she was that person
Yeah, that's quite
in that
possible,
life.
isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I know we asked all the questions at the time, but I can't. It all gets a bit of a blur,
Yeah,
don't
it does, and it's hard to remember all the things you do.
But they definitely took that bullet. If
It's
that
not-
was him, because the American thing, it was
Yeah.
that thing that gave it away, and that led her down that road of, well, this is what happened to me granddad, and he died. The fella, he
Yeah.
did die with a bullet. So,
Mm.
I mean, it's etherically, isn't it? That bullet, it's not real.
Yeah.
I see it as real.
Yeah.
I saw the shape of it, saw the colour of it, and they obviously gave me the information that he was American.
Hmm.
Or it was American, or whatever that was.
Yeah,
So,
it could be quite possible that she was that man.
yeah, that's what I think it was.
Yeah, because we do have like soul families, don't we? And soul
Yeah.
contracts with people. So
Yeah.
maybe it was a contract that they had made at some point in another life that he would save her as a him, and then she's come back and still got that energetic system.
Is the granddad's granddaughter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It's amazing, isn't it?
that is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if I should have paid more of attention and gone the long way round,
Yeah.
because she would have been under more. But was it right that because she felt it and we talked about it?
Yeah.
Some people don't know that it's even happened.
Yeah.
And if they don't comment, I don't mention it, because I've, it's weird enough what I do without saying, oh, I've got Dr. B here and he's got my glasses on. And
Yeah,
got
I
me
want
in.
to know what's going on. I want to know. It's me that forgets it all.
I know. But
I don't know about we both had our name called this week as well, wouldn't we?
and we thought that was my mum, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. Someone called my name. That was about 1:30 in the morning in the week, and of course, that had my mind going. So I never went back to sleep after that. I was trying to work out who it was, because I had a few friends that died in that month as well. So like it could have been them as well. So I was trying to work it out. But then you had it as well, didn't you? Someone
pulling the curtains and shouted, but it was evening. It wasn't in the night, thank God.
Yeah. Oh. I got past all the interactions going on all night long.
I know.
But yeah, we think it's probably was Nan. I think, well, we talked, didn't we, in the week? So we think that our family's quite excited that we do it, like with Nan and my granddad, and they love it.
You got granddad, didn't you? The other day when we was talking, and the message was that he was happy we was doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems so interesting. It's so subtle you could miss it. Mind you, those big jobs like that are not subtle. That's massive. But
we just don't do normal healing, do we? It's not like you lay there and go like that and like you're fine. We just get the big jobs, really.
Yeah, it's very interesting, that, isn't it? I found that story fascinating because I've known her so long, done so many healings. Why did it have to take this time? Maybe it's because we do talk about it.
Yeah.
That they want us to talk about it, so more's being shown.
Yeah, I think so, because as we said before, it's really hard to explain what we do to people that haven't had it done. If they've not been like recommended by someone or something like that, I mean, how do you explain some of this stuff to people?
I couldn't tell them.
How do we come off the rocker?
Would you like to come and let me look through your stomach?
Do you like to eat my
last week I mean, she's been coming for years, and it's never happened before to her.
Yeah.
But so
That
I,
recently then? How
oh,
long ago was that one?
this was last Saturday.
Oh, so
So
it's recently.
really
Yeah.
recent. She said, what was you doing? What was you doing? And it wasn't so I thought, not so intense, because it felt lighter to me. I knew he was there.
Mm.
But when I'd finished, she said, what was all that round going on around my stomach? So I said, oh, I've known her so long. I said, oh, I think my psychic surgeon was working on you. She never told me what was wrong with her. What happened was it was her birthday. And she said, I thought I'd treat myself to a healing rather than go out and spend it on something else. And she wrote me a really lovely testimonial. She said, because her daughter, all the kids come, they all come. So her daughter's been coming from about 6 years old. And she calls it the angel. She calls me the angel lady to start with. So they'll get excited. Oh, go and see the angel lady and all that. So, of course, that's sort of the level I suppose she's always been used to. Of course, this had happened this time. So and I didn't know she suffers from IBS. I don't have to know that stuff because it's not down to us what we do, is it? Or I don't need to know all the ins and outs. So I got a message. I said, I just said to her, she said, I felt really good after that. I said, would you write me a testimonial knowing we're doing this? So she said, yeah, of course I will. So that's how I know about it, that she said, I haven't got the IBS is stopped. So that's what he was doing, curing IBS.
Look, and found the shrapnel at the same time, I suppose.
Oh, no,
While it's in there. Or was that a different one?
No, different lady.
Oh, different lady. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And this lady is a sister to my cranial osteopath. So if any, when you talk about it, and they'll come as well. She comes.
They all know all about this stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And this lady comes to all the workshops and retreats I ever do. So they've known me for years. But that never came up before until last Saturday. So and the other one was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
The bullet.
Well, yeah, I mean, people don't really think, you get used to your aches and pains, don't you, and things going on. You don't really want to talk about it. So it's only when they're going to come and have something particularly done, then it will come out. But it's not something you share with people, is it? When you're generally talking that you've got something going on.
She didn't come for that. Well, obviously she did, but she came to treat herself for her birthday.
Yeah. How nice is that? It's nice though, isn't it?
Isn't it? And that lovely. I mean, I've only just thought about that because now when you know someone for that many years and you've done all the healings before, but what is that about? Is that about clearing so much of it at a time and then it comes to the real
This is what I said. I think we're doing swap stuff for now, because that's the sort of thing I do, is past life and timeline all in the same thing. That's what you did with that lady with the bullet thing.
Yeah.
It was a mixture of both.
Yeah. I mean, that was amazing. Well, the last thing I expected to see was a blooming bullet. And I went to them, what is that? And in there they've gone shrapnel. Really?
Yeah.
Do that then?
Yeah. I love all the past life stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Have you done your past lives? Have you? I know we had one when we did your timeline thing, which was our first chat we had on here. But I've gone in and done a few of mine. It's just fascinating. I had a past life in Chelmsford. Now, even before I did live in Chelmsford, I'd lived completely somewhere else. My guides took me to Chelmsford and they took me to the shop. I didn't really know where I was going. I was just following my intuition and they took me down this road and there was nothing there. And I thought, where are you taking me? And I was right at the last shop it was. And I thought, is this it? It's a beauty place. And And I went in and I had a chat with the lady, and she went, "Oh yeah, you can do readings and all sorts of stuff here if you want." And I decided not to do it because it was too far to go backwards and forwards. And then later on, when I did decide to move there, I went back to the same shop, and it was a completely different girl that had it this time, younger girl. And I went in and talked to her, and she was like, "Yeah, no problem, you can use it, use the upstairs." Really old building, all like wooden beams, and it sort of went up into the attic. I used to run my circle up there, and I used to do healing up there. And on occasions, some of the girls that used to be up there doing circle, they used to see like witches appear around the stairway because it was open, and they used to see these heads come up, and they used to say, "Oh, the witches are here." But yeah, it was amazing, and she just gave me the keys, and it's just like it was just like she just trusted me from the off, and it was up, went in and out. I just used to text her, "I'm going in now, I've got this to do," and whatever, and she was fine. It was so bizarre, but I started looking into my past lives, and then it turned out I had a past life there, and my name was Daisy in this life. And I was a bit of a socialite, I was, and I either lived in that one, which was a house then, or the one next door, which was a hat shop. They could have been one big place, I don't really know, but I lived in either one of them. I don't know which one it was. And I was married to a guy called Andrew in that life, and we'd got married, and we had one child, but it wasn't a very nice relationship. And anyway, I was very fascinated with Highlands House, and it used to be boarded up when I first used to go there with one of my friends who's since passed many, and she moved there, and I still hadn't moved there by that time. But we used to walk her dogs over there, and it was all boarded up. And I used to say, "I am absolutely fascinated with this place." I said, "I'm going to work in there one day." And she just like look at me, it's like I was mad. Anyway, time went on, and they'd done it all up, and it's a really lovely building now. And I used to do psychic nights in there, get mediums up there, and I even did a paranormal in there as well at one point, and that was
I
recorded.
went there twice for a wedding.
Yeah, and the paranormal thing was really good. But they had like every now and again have exhibitions where they put all the books out and everything, and I used to go and have a look round, and there'd be pictures and books and news cuttings, and there was Daisy, the local. Daisy. I used to like all the gossip. I used to like be running like, "Oh yeah, like she's doing." I used to wanted to be as a socialite. I wasn't, but I just thought I was at that point. And I used to tell them all the stuff, and it used to be in the write-ups, and I was like, used to read it, and I think, "Oh my god, that was me."
Wow.
Yeah, but what turned out, the thing is, this bloke called Andrew wasn't very nice, very jealous and possessive, and he strangled me, killed me, killed me. I even found where I was buried. There's a church over there. I went looking to find myself in the churchyard to where they'd buried me, and I had divorced him, and I met Dave, who is my guide now.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'd married Dave. So I've been married to my guide Dave. It's a funny name, isn't it, for a guide, to be fair, considering. But there you go. But yeah, and I was married to him, and I'd gone back to see this Andy for some reason, sort something out, and that's when he got really jealous and strangled me.
Oh, blimey, heck.
Yeah, but a reason why I moved there, apart from all that, is I re-met that guy in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him. As soon as we met each other and our eyes just clicked like that, we both went, whoa. We both knew that we knew each other. And it was a few years later that I went out for a drink with him and whatever, and we had a sort of a bit of a relationship going on. But I used to say to him, "You look like two people to me." I just, every time, sometimes I look at you and you look different. Another time I look at you and you look like you, but it's just like two different people going on. I said, "There's definitely something in this because of the way that we both felt when we met each other. We knew each other before." And he never used to really say a lot about it, but I knew that he had the feeling about. I said, "You know what? I'm going to be doing a board with some ladies and stuff, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to find out where I know you from and who you are." And I said, "And in case you don't believe me, I'm going to record it." So somebody recorded this session, and I went in and I spoke to my guy Dave, and well, I got more than one obviously, but he's my main one that communicates a lot with me. And I went in and they told me that he was the guy, Andrew, in that life, and he was the one that murdered me and strangled me in that lifetime. So then we connected again. So it must have been like a karmic thing, where we had to come back together to readdress whatever was going on.
That was definitely karmic for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think, yeah, it was, because I was fine about it, but he wasn't so fine about it. So I think it affected him more than it did me. I was just intrigued to find out. And when I showed him the video and everything, he went, "Oh, I'm not surprised." I think he sort of knew deep down that that's what it was. But the whole, like, how they was instigating to try and get back to be living there and be there.
Yeah.
To even taking me back to the same shop, and I knew that I lived there at some point.
Not that I've done past life for me, but I've not meant to go past life, just by going to this lady for healing, and I've dropped back into her life.
Okay.
And that was Bakersfield.
Yeah.
We moved from Leighton to Bakersfield for the boys to go to school, and it had to be, when it has to be that Bakersfield. I mean, it could have been Leighton, it could have been Epping, it had to be Bakersfield. And when we started looking really seriously, because Stu was coming up to 11 to go to the secondary school, and Darren was already at school there. It was in Woodford, he went to school. Yeah. So it was interesting that we only looked in Bakersfield. So we goes to this house this day, and it was just like somebody had walked out the door. Nothing had been touched. It was still, like even in the right up at the butler's pantry, and the old loo upstairs was, the loo was set in a corner with the big wooden seat, like for the ladies when they had the big dresses. It was just, and I was fascinated by the banisters again, like the last time. I kept banister. That's about. I bet that's a past life thing. Yeah. Anyway, and the whole in the back, there was a front room, and then the back room. The whole of the windows at the back was doors and windows. It was all glass, like little panes, and it had it was like a bow, the whole lot, and it fascinated me. But they were cracked. The garden, we went out in the little garden, it was all cracked because where it was built on the hill, it needed, Charlie knew all about the underpinning. He said, and I really, really wanted to live there. We took the boys that day, and the four of us stayed in that house all afternoon. That's unheard of, isn't it, when you go viewing a house? Yeah. The old style telephone was still on the shelf.
Oh my God, was back in time, isn't it?
Real back in time. Anyway, that was, God knows what. I moved in 83 to Bakersfield, so this could have been 2 years before that, because it took us about 2 years to find it. Well, maybe this was nearer to 83, because we'd spent ages looking to get the right house. And Charlie wouldn't buy that because we didn't have the money for the underpinning. But I had servants' rooms, the little rooms up in the attic. It just spoke to me. I wanted to live there. Anyway, so now moving on. Now this is maybe, had I come out of the hotel? I was out of the hotel. So this is maybe 16, 17 years ago, maybe a bit longer. So I met this lady in Kingsbridge, and she did the healing. And I got this past, I only went for healing, and this past life, I started talking about this house or this little girl. I saw this, I was the little girl, and I was sitting in that room with the curved windows.
Right. Wow.
And I remember the feeling of even then, again.
I bet you got the chills when you do that. Yeah.
And I was playing with a doll's house. And the lady, there was a lady in a rocking chair, really elderly. I don't know if she was a nanny or my nan, or I don't know who she was. She was all in black. Apparently, in the story, I'd lost my mum. My mum had died young, and all I had was my dad, and he was obviously quite wealthy because this house had servants. And because we know where Stuart's buried, my Stuart, or his ashes are in the church. Along, this was, I forget the name of the road now. It might have been Palmerston Road, where the house was. And the church is in Church Lane, obviously, but it's not that, if you walked up to the high road, you look left and the church is on the corner. So Stuart is buried there. And apparently they told me I was buried in there. But I don't know if I got a name, I can't remember. But it was fascinating because I saw that house exactly as it was in this life. Yeah. And that was the calling, probably, that I want to go back and live there.
Yeah. Well, I think we all do that. I think we go back to the places we've all been before.
Yeah. There must be something about this, because I keep being told I'm not coming back anymore. This is my last life. So it's like it's revisiting all the places, like Totnes and that Hundred House thing. It's the revisiting of it, knowing that you had that life.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. Or maybe this is a timeline thing, Trace. I don't know.
Could be that as well.
Because it fascinated me in this life. I didn't know I'd bloody lived in there before. It was the minute I walked in that room, I loved the windows, and that's the room I was sitting in with this granny who was rocking in the chair.
Yeah.
And I knew the story. I knew the story that I only had a dad, and he worked he worked up the city, and I was left with this lady. But they did say to me, I went to school along that top road where the church is.
Yeah.
When we looked at it, I don't know if it had gone now or if it had, and it was a girls' school. That was on the Epping Road, that road. So weird, because Darren went to school.
It's like you relive the life again, and they just like come back again, really, and do it again in a different format.
Yeah.
Because there must be some sort of karma attached to it. That's what I think is why you have to go back to these places to readdress something.
Yeah. I wish I remembered the name they gave me, because I don't go back there that often anyway. We used to go back up there for Christmas and stop in the Premier Inn opposite where Stuart is buried. But I don't need to go there. Because he's not there, is he? He's around me.
Yeah.
But if I'd have known the name, could have gone round the churchyard.
Yeah.
And look what you've done.
Yeah.
That's what reminded me of that, because I died young apparently, and that's where they put me, in that churchyard. I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, to think you had another life there, and
but
it's fun.
It's really weird because it was a real calling to go there, and I never knew Baco still even existed when we was when I did. But why was it the big calling to live there?
Same with me, to go to Chelmsford. I had nobody there. There was no family there. There's nobody I knew there.
No.
I remember one of my best friends, she lived there for a period of time. We used to go out and there used to be clubs there and all that. But that was years ago. And she died, she must have died 24 years back. So, she wasn't even there when I went to live there. But I knew I had to go and live there.
Yeah.
Lots things unfolded at that period of time when I was there, but I think it was all karmic stuff.
Yeah.
Going on. I sometimes used to walk over by Highlands and I used to see a crowd of people outside. And I was just in the distance, oh, that's busy, there's a lot of people there. There'd be no one there. There'd be no one there. I could just see just people milling about. And so, yeah, it's amazing. I say, like, they let me do a paranormal there as well. And had a group.
What was that?
That was all right. Yeah, we did all the rooms and that, and the main one that was most active was up in the loft area, or the rooms up there, which used to be the kids' playrooms. And there were some little children there, and they wouldn't talk to any of the men. And I think it might have been a thing years ago that they couldn't talk to the men. They only talked to their nannies or the ladies that spoke to them. The men maybe didn't interact with them. So I sort of picked this up and I was doing some, but yeah, it was quite good. We had the cameras and the lights and everything going on there. Someone was recording it, and the recording I got back, they put a green haze over it. It was atrocious, the recording of it, and they didn't. I don't think they ever did another one there. I don't recall anybody else getting in there doing it. But yeah, they let us go all around and stuff like that. We did another paranormal thing. I think it was Harwich. And then some of the ladies that were there probably going to listen to this. But we didn't realise that their cameras were on. So as we're going around, there was all old stuff there, the war, wheelchairs, dummies, and all sorts of things there. And we're all sodding about. We're laying on the stretchers, we're messing about with the dummies. Sitting in the wheelchairs, we're all larking about, grown women, you know what I mean? It's like acting up, and then suddenly we spotted signs: do not touch anything.
Oh my God!
And you're on camera.
Oh no!
So I went to my lot, sort it out for me, please. Like we can't be like getting in trouble for this, so we calmed down anyway, and we went round and we did things in the jail. They've got a little jail there, and where people were put, and we felt different stuff and all that. But anyway, the groups and people that were working it usually have the footage. There was no footage.
Really?
For some apparent reason, the cameras didn't work.
Oh my God!
There is no footage of us all sodding about.
Do you know what I find fascinating though, Trace? Like, we've got Bodmin Jail down here, which is now a hotel. But years ago, when I met this Kerry, I met her at the group, and we used to go to the Egyptian Museum down there and go out on days, you know, 4 of us, all the men. And we went to Bodmin Jail, and the reason she took me was, I didn't know this until I got there. Come on, what can you sense? I couldn't feel a bleeding thing. I never saw anything. I never got anything. And I think they were so thinking about it, I was disappointed, because it's so old that you can imagine Bodmin in the middle of Cornwall. Off, and it wasn't a nice place anyway. Nothing, not a whiff. You know, like normally you'd smell something, hear something, nothing. And I wonder if that's, I don't know what that is. Is that not being tuned into it, or maybe not meaning to be tuned into it? I don't know. Because normally when you go in there and you're just going to, I thought I was just going to visit it, not to think I'm going to get something, or me to think it.
You could say that, because when I went to New York, I went to Ground Zero. Now, lots of people say this was very near to the time that had all happened. I didn't feel a thing, nothing. Other people say they can still feel stuff, or felt the energy and all of that. I didn't feel anything. So maybe it's just certain places and certain energies of a place we just don't resonate.
I was quite amazed, because maybe because it is a dark energy, then maybe it's that. Because even the sight of the building, I thought, oh my God, it's not my thing to go and visit them things. We were just doing it because we were sort of taken. We went for lunch and ended up there. But they're behind them. They was thinking, "Oh, June will feel something."
Pick something. Yeah, pick something.
Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing. Quite a disappointment. What
No. I usually do get stuff when I go places like that. But yeah, as I say, like Ground Zero, where I was actually expecting something, I got nothing at all. And I really never really looked into why I didn't, but I just didn't.
But
So
when
that
you
could be the
think
only
about
thing.
it, when things happen like so easily to
Mm,
us, you think that's the place it would happen, wouldn't
yeah,
you?
yeah. So I've no idea why.
No, like the other day when I was meditating in here, and that little girl, who I
Mm,
know who it is, and because I
yeah.
told her mum, I better not mention it. I saw everything, absolutely everything about her,
Mm,
and I felt her cuddle me.
yeah.
But a couple of days before that, I'd seen that man in here, and you know what? You know what, Trace? When you're in that, I'm sure you feel this. When you're in that space, and it happens, it's so real. When you come back, you think, "My
Mm,
God, that was so real." Because
yeah.
I could see the colours of what she was wearing. I could see her hair. And a couple of days before, when I saw that man, all
Yeah.
I kept thinking, who was a bloody butcher that's passed over? Because I saw the apron.
Mm,
I saw his hair as large as life. I saw these two things in here the day, 2 separate days meditating.
mm,
But it wasn't. I mean, I did get visited by that young girl for lots of reasons, and that would be another story. But it wasn't until I spoke to you that we fell in what was happening there on
yeah.
that, wasn't it?
Mm,
She was stuck, and I mean, this is way before I moved to Devon. All this, so I think we're talking 97.
yeah.
Born. So we're talking a lot of years ago, and that man who came, who I was racking my brain, who the blooming hell was he standing in here a
Mm,
couple of days before? And you sussed out who he was. What was
mm.
he? Six and
Yeah,
and
generations
back.
back.
Yeah,
Grandfather, wasn't it, going
yeah,
back?
yeah.
I mean, because the little girl, it was either another timeline thing going on, or she never had that, never felt that spirit never wanted to pass over. Maybe it was an attachment thing, because sometimes they can get attached to the mum, and the
Mm,
mum don't realise that they can keep the young spirit children attached to them, and they don't go over
mm,
because of that energy and that love that they felt, and they need to let it go and let them go so they can then go over. So it can be that, um, or it could be that she just, well, it just was timeline playing out. She never reached the age that she should have got to. It could be
yeah,
from a multitude of things, really, but it's to speak to the mum and find out how she felt and her situation and all that, you can work out really what had gone on there. But
mm,
it looked like for some reason she suddenly then come to you, and this man's then coming for her to finally go.
yeah. And I think she was more attached to me anyway,
Yeah, or yeah, it could have been you. Just could
because
have been you.
I was the one that held her.
Yeah,
She obviously was dead at birth, and I
yeah,
was the only one that held her. So that, I think, caused that bond,
mm,
because I have seen her around and I've drawn her,
yeah,
everything, but it just fascinated me. But of course, her aunt was staying with me, if you like. I mean, if she'd have lived, she is her aunt.
yeah,
Whether that was the connection, who knows?
yeah. Well, it had to be done when the timing was right. Or she
Yeah,
could have been with her aunt, and her aunt's come to you, and then it's all married up. All the
yeah,
timing's worked out.
yeah.
Then, then it could
What
happen.
really interesting, isn't it?
Mm,
Because I saw her, because I asked the questions, because we've lost a few youngsters, so I was asking who was, and it was that name, and
yeah,
oh, yeah, of course because of I saw the long blonde hair again, and it was like I've seen her in different ways, but this was like she was still young, about 7 or 8, because she cuddled up and put her head right in the nape there in my neck, and I could see all her hair. That it was so real.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt it. I see it. I saw what she was wearing. It was blue and white check dress. I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Like I saw him. I saw like the only thing that really stuck out was the butcher's apron. Saw that.
Well, you know, there's aspects of us living out in different timelines, different realities. So it could be another reality that's playing out.
Yeah.
You got to that age and it is decided that it was now time.
So
Because I do timelines. So now, like,
yeah.
you think like the timelines, this
Yeah.
is what I think our stuff's interacting. We're doing different things because of the way we're working together now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a swap, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You've got Marmain, you've got Dr. John, and I've got your timelines.
Yeah, well, maybe that we are meant to interact this way, and that's how it's meant to happen. Because between us, then we can reach more people and do more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, do more stuff. Should we talk about the meditation group now?
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, because we got that's starting, isn't it, next week on the 11th. So we got ladies that have started to join it now, the group, getting ready in preparation for us starting off. So we're doing it together, aren't we? This one. This is the first time that we've been working together in that aspect of doing our meditation sort of healing group.
Yeah. I've never worked with anybody before doing this.
I haven't either.
So it's going to be quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think like they're going to get double whammy then with both of us working together, especially with the healing aspect of it, which is probably what a lot of them will want, isn't it, when we're doing it. So we chatted about it earlier today. So when we start off, we're going to start with past life, aren't we? Doing the past life.
The base chakra, working with the base chakra. And past lives from that would be so interesting.
Yeah.
And they'll get the healing to heal that past life.
Yeah. And money. So the base chakra, the root chakra, whatever you want to call it, it's all to do with finances, security and all those things. So we're going to clear the money. What did we call it? The money what?
Oh God, we talked about this, didn't we? Poverty consciousness.
Yeah, you called it something different to me. Yeah, clear the poverty conscience in the session that we're doing as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it works with the two of us together, in the healing out to people. So you lucky lot if you're joining, getting double whammy there.
When I used to work on my own with them, and it was evening because it was in lockdown, they'd all be in bed.
Yeah.
They're just so if I can knock them out on my own, God knows what's going to happen to them this time.
I think you all get better get prepared, ladies. Get your pajamas on.
I said to Tracie today, I'm going to lie on my bed. Well, you're going to be working. I went, oh, right
then. They'll be wired afterwards. They'll all be like that, and we'll be wired. So they need to jump on and add me on social media and onto my private group, so then I can put them in the chat so everyone knows what they're doing. So June's going to send some information in there before we start, and I'll be popping some stuff in there as well, so you can keep up to date with what we're doing. And so we can add everyone and join people to Skype. So I'm going to need everyone's Skype address and stuff like that, as if they want to do. So we've got a week now, really. It won't even be that by the time this goes out.
Yeah. So I think if anybody's interested, it's the chakras. It's about what the chakra means, and
angels,
everything.
Yeah, we're doing a different thing each month when we do it, but that's how we're starting this one. That's our plan anyway, what we've got.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, it works. It works just talking like this. So they're going to get a lot
Yeah.
going on. And,
But-
you know, it's called, what's it called? The Ascension Healing Circle, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're going to be working with all the angels, archangels, some of the galactics. So as we work with different people, but we're going to call them all in. So that's so going to get them all. We might even meet our granddad while I'm in there. Some of our family might pop in.
Tracie gave them. They might come round me, but I don't really see them or hear them anymore. But I did name the other night. But maybe that is about this work, though, Trace. That's perhaps what all that's about.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had granddad since I was little, so I worked with him a lot when I first started doing this because he was like my go-to person, so it felt quite safe knowing that he was there. And then as I progressed, obviously I got my guides and I learnt more about it, and then worked with other things and beings and whatever as time's gone on. But even when I've sort of moved on, he's still sort of been there. It still comes and goes. But
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't really like me making him redundant for a while I was working with Dave a lot. But no, I know they love it now.
So when I got older, Granddad was the first person, I used to see spirit loads, but Granddad was the first one again. Now, I was quite amazed it took him 5 years to show himself to me. But that's for another story. I won't say that now because we're running out of time.
Yeah, I know that, but they don't always appear straight away, do they? I mean, for Nan to appear, that would have been nearly 20 years for me to see Nan.
Well, Caitlin's 18 in
Right, so it's
March. So she's the only one that Nan. Oh, blow me! I've got lower. She's run that. So Nan never saw Caitlin.
no.
But you know what? So interesting. I see Nan and Caitlin. Even Darren sees it.
Yeah.
I do every now and again. I catch it and I think, oh, win.
I'll ask about that one.
Yeah, we'll have to ask when we're together. We'll ask.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
So
I better go.
yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone that stayed with us while we were having our chat. And as usual, please like and subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. And we'll see some of you next week when we do our meditation group, our healing circle. And other than that, we'll see some of you again next time we're on another week. So see you later. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.